Hello, my sweet summer children. What is going on? That was my immediate thought after this episode. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100 like I always do. I did not like this episode. Like, it had high points. Bayla and Jace carried this episode on their backs, but the lows were low. I almost wonder if this episode was affected by like the writer's strike that was going on a while ago when this was being filmed. But it just felt there was like missed opportunities. Damon's storyline feels like a bull in a china shop. It just didn't seem cohesive. It felt like messy bullet points kind of after episode 4. Like episode 4 was so epic, so beautifully written and executed. This felt kind of like a faceplant. But what did you think? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments. With that said, I think the show is doing great. I just think this was a weak episode. I never in my life thought I would say I miss Otto Hightower, but where is Otto? Like, bring him back, please. Otto, please step to the forefront. But let's get into breaking all of this down. So the show opens up with Corlys on Driftmark, sad. He's lost his wife. Rest in peace, the queen who never was. We knew this news would hit him hard. Rhaenys and Corlys had something that most people in Westeros do not have and never get the chance to have, and that is true love. They married of their own free will. It's a true Westerosi love story. Both of their kids are gone, and now so is Rhaenys and Meleys. And Rhaenyra is on Dragonstone, sad. She's lost her most dependable supporter. Rhaenys not only had the biggest dragon aside from Vhagar, well, the biggest dragon that has a rider. Rhaenys was the voice of reason for Rhaenyra. She could relate to Rhaenyra in ways that only Rhaenys could relate. It's a devastating loss, and it's going to change the dynamics of the war. Speaking of the dynamics of the war, the Greens, Crispin, has commanded that Meleys' head be drugged through the streets. He's trying to pull like an Otto, but he's not quite Kris Jenner. He watched Otto work, and he's trying to follow his footsteps, but he doesn't understand that Jaehaerys being paraded through the streets brought sympathy, sadness, grief, and mourning. It made Rhaenyra look terrible, but trying to repeat that with Meleys was not the move. Parading Meleys through the streets is bringing fear and exposing weakness. He's not cut out for this shit. Like, he really is not. The small folk are terrified. They say this is a black omen, an abomination. Rhaenyra will answer this. Crispin is like, they act like they don't know it was a victory. And my guy, Gwaine, is there to humble the fool. Strange victory if it was one. I love Gwaine Hightower. He should be Gwaine from Humbleton because he stays humbling Crispin Cole. And the victory really wasn't a victory. Yes, they managed to take out Meleys and Rhaenys, but at the cost of Sunfire and Aegon and a whole lot of their army. Also, Vhagar is completely depleted. If Rhaenyra and Daemon were to attack right now, Caraxes and Syrax would kill Vhagar. But where is Daemon? In a land far away, doing God knows what. Also, Rhaenys is beloved by the people of King's Landing and around the realm. Like in 89 AC, Rhaenys flew to her grandfather, King Jaehaerys, on Meleys and completed his tour with him. She is known by the small folk as the queen who never was. I don't know how they feel about the whole dragon pit debacle last season, but they are not pleased with this. I don't know what Crispin was hoping to achieve. He probably thought he would be met with cheers. But no, bro. Not only do they see you a bad omen, they see that dragons are a little less fearsome, a little less godly. The younger kid says, I thought the dragons were gods. Seeing your god with its head cut off is not a vibe. It's just not a vibe. If one dragon can die, so can another. And while Alicent's spawn may paint themselves green, they are Targaryens. And Targaryens' strength comes from their dragons. So making their dragons not as invincible as they seem is a mistake. Aemon and Alicent watch as they bring Aegon into the Red Keep in a box. Alicent realizes that Aemon has the dagger. As they walk Aegon up the steps, Helena looks at them like she knows what's up. It's the same steps that Helena and Aegon had that moment on in episode 2. So they take Blackfyre out of the box and they take Aegon out of the box, and the Maester sisters immediately start to work on him. His armor is fused to his body and they are removing it. He's burned badly. His bones are broken and his bones are being reset. So when Alicent notices that the Silent Sisters are there, she asks if her son is going to die. Aemon comes in to look at his work, to look at what he's done, and says someone will have to rule in his stead. Everyone's saying that this was an accident, that we don't know. Y'all are crazy. This man methodically reached for the throne. And I don't know why Aemon is a psycho. He's up there with Maegor, Aerion Brightflame, Aerys. He's nuts. Aemon is what everyone thought Daemon was. And to be honest, I don't know what Daemon is right now and where they're going. I think we're going to talk about that in a second because I got a lot to say about that. Alicent then goes to Crispin to find out what happened, and she knows something isn't right. Like, she has that mother's intuition that something isn't right. Something is off. She feels it in her bones. In Dragonstone, Sir Alfred is still complaining. I also like how he annoys the entire council all the time, and it's not just me. Lord Celtigar seems to be especially annoyed by him. But Rhaenyra checks him like, you've never been in any battles. We have the same battle experience. Rhaenyra is in a difficult position. She's just lost Rhaenys, and now the only dragon rider she has left is Baela, Jace, herself, and Daemon, wherever he is, whatever he's doing. They need the Riverlands. Then we get a scene with Jace and Baela. First of all, Baela carried this episode. Every scene that I loved had Baela in it. I loved all the scenes with Baela. Jace tells Baela he's going to get Daemon together. Rhaenys has fallen and he must reaffirm his loyalty and report his standing. Baela is like, oh, hold up. Wait a minute, you're tripping. You think you can bring my father to heel when your mother couldn't? Then they decide the better course is to treat with the Freys. Then we are in the Riverlands, and bro, what? WTF? Daemon is there with Caraxes, and I'm so glad to finally see Caraxes, my bow-legged boy, the throat goat. I love him. Dragon merch available below. Caraxes, Vhagar, and Meleys. But bro, really? He tells the Brackens to bend the knee to him or burn. They chose fire, and he's like, oh, well, never mind. It's just, to me, it's weirdly out of character for Daemon. I was fully expecting barbecued Brackens, but I guess not. Instead, we get this cut, and it goes to Daemon and Sir Willem, and we have Daemon like twiddling his fingers, saying, I didn't think they'd be so eager to die. Daemon says they would rather burn than succumb. They are exactly the type of men we need. Listen, Daemon has every reason to burn the Brackens. They took up arms against Rhaenyra and claimed Fort Aegon. Many men died in the Battle of the Burning Mill. Burn them. It's totally something that's expected of you. Like Book Daemon would have burned them. Now, in the last episode, Sir Willem was like, bring the Queen's Justice to the Brackens and you have our support. But he didn't bring the Queen's Justice. Daemon advises Sir Willem to try to persuade them, bro. And what do? They steal women and children, hold them hostage in order to join their side. Something Rhaenyra definitely would not approve of. Then we are in the Eyrie with Rhaena. House Aaron isn't happy with the baby dragons. This scene, I don't know. It was meh. It was meh. Rhaena made it to the Vale. We see she's made it to the Vale. She meets Lady Jane Eyre. And then we're on Dragonstone. Mysaria and Rhaenyra talk. Rhaenyra feels lost. Mysaria says Crispin Cole made a mistake, which is true. But she says to basically use the small folk against the Greens. And we see Alinda leave Dragonstone. Again, we have Baela killing it. Rhaenyra tells Baela about the story about Rhaenys and Meleys. The night Rhaenys claimed Meleys. I love that little story. I love that little moment. We need more stuff like that. So she tells Baela that she now needs to rely on her. She gives Baela the Hand of the King pin to take to Corlys. Y'all listen. I'm tired of the Harrenhal dream thing. Like, it's cool, right? But it's dragging and it's interfering with the character and the story. Like something is off about it. There was no need for us to see Daemon having sex with his mother. That's weird, even for a Targaryen. And how much do you want to bet Aemon has a vision like this of his mother when he gets to Harrenhal? Like, listen, I love the Harrenhal stuff, but at this point, it's gone on too long. It's feeling dragged out. It's feeling bled dry and overdone. It really feels clunky and out of place. Like, we don't know when he's dreaming, when he's not. The entire dinner montage was weird and cartoonishly. It was cartoonishly, I don't know. Like, I get that it's supposed to be creepy, but it's more stupid. Daemon wants to fix Harrenhal, but they have no money. They want to petition the queen. He's like, immediately no. He will never ask for help. We've seen how angry help makes him. Then we get to the Green Council, and it's always drama and tea going on over there. The Grand Maester basically says Aegon may never wake up, and they decide to install a regency. So Alicent puts herself forth for the regency, and no one agrees with her. Well, the Grand Maester speaks for her, but everyone else is like, no, immediately no. So she thinks she's got Larys and Crispin in the bag, but she does not. Larys says no, but then he ultimately pushes the decision onto Crispin, who also says no. So a lot is going on in this scene. Alicent sees how the men have all pushed her to the side, much like Rhaenys basically warned her about. You're just making a hole in your prison. You're still in service to men. And she also realizes in this moment that Aemon did something to Aegon. She's not an idiot. Aemon gets right to work. He steps right up and gets right to business. He gets his standing. He chastises Larys because Harrenhal is his castle. Listen, Aemon, he leads the meeting. Yes, he's more politically sound than Aegon, but he's a psycho. And Aegon is foolish, but Aemon is cruel. Aemon will be cruel. He orders someone to cut down the rat catchers. Finally, Hugh the Hammer's daughter is sick, and his wife wants to leave King's Landing. So here's the deal. The gullet is blocked off, trade is very limited, and food is scarce. In the council, the Maester basically tells them, like, we need to turn our attention to the small folk. Aegon has not come through with the gold for the weapons that Hugh has built. Times are hard, and with Crispin doing his dragon head parade, the small folk are not only hungry, they are scared. They are scared that Rhaenyra is going to bring fire and blood to King's Landing. When we cut to Crispin cutting down the rat catchers, the dog is still there. Him following the wagon made me so sad. Someone give him some treats. He's such a good boy. But Alicent pulls up on Crispin, and she's pissed. She basically accusing him of having false love for her, fleeting feelings, casting her aside at sunrise. Crispin reaffirms that Aemon is next in line, and Alicent keeps saying, this is the second time that she said this. She said it to Rhaenyra in the Sept, and she says it again here. You know what he is, what he has somehow become. So they try to make it that he's like Daemon, but he's not. He's, like I've said it 1,000 times, he's the Sheehan version of Daemon. You know, Otto was always scared for Daemon to ever rule. He would be Maegor, come again, etc., etc., etc. Well, it's the same kind of thing with Aemon. However, Daemon would never physically harm Viserys. Never. Daemon also does not have the patience for court or for council or for any of this shit. Like, put some respect on my man's name out here. There are similarities there, but I feel they are supposed to be cheap parallels. The parallels are supposed to be cheap for a reason. Aemon does not really know Daemon. He only knows what he's heard of Daemon from other people, and he's emulating what he's heard and not who he actually is. I think I'm going to do a video on Aemon and Daemon because it's a very interesting topic to explore, and a lot of people be getting it wrong. But Crispin tells Alicent, we have given the war to the dragons. A dragon rider should lead us. Crispin says, have I not spared you? What we need to do is terrible. Will you preside over it? Is that who you are, Alicent? She's like, I did not ask to be spared, and I did not give you leave to speak my name. Ooh, she's angry. She expected him to take her side, to speak for her, and he didn't. And her influence and power in King's Landing is fading, and it's fading fast. So Aemon orders the gates of the city closed. So the small folk are starving. They don't know where Aegon is. No one knows where Aegon is. Then we get to the Riverlands, and I feel like my whole beef is with the Riverland storyline and Daemon's storyline. Everything just feels like it doesn't belong. And it's just my opinion. But the Riverlands is the missed opportunity that keeps giving missed opportunities. So we get a quick glimpse at Vermax. Jace is at the Twins meeting with the Freys. I love all the Jace stuff because it's like he would really make a good king. He's got the right temperament for it. We don't deserve Jace. So when they tell him they are scared of Vhagar, he's like, Vhagar's not here. He's thousands of miles away. But my dragon is. And when he cuts to the chase and is like, what do you want? I was like, yes, get him, Tiger. The Freys want Harrenhal. And you know what? I'm so sick of the Freys and their stupid ass bridge. Like, they really ask for way too much when it comes to that bridge. They had the audacity to ask for Harrenhal. Like with Robb Stark, Walder Frey asked for way too much. Like, it wasn't just a marriage for his daughter to Robb. There was also a marriage for one of his sons to marry Arya and Winterfell, fostering 2 Walder grandsons and take this son as a squire. Like, it was a lot. Jace should have just done us all a favor and burned the bridge and the bridge trolls to the ground. Jace offers them the protection of not only himself and Vermax, but Daemon and Caraxes as well. I think Jace knows what I know, and that is that Daemon would never turn against Rhaenyra. Now, I've said about missed opportunities at the Twins. In the book, we have Sabitha Frey, which she just described as sharp-featured, sharp-tongued, who was fond of killing men and kissing women. I thought she might make an appearance. She did not, because this is not Forrest and Sabitha, right? Can't be. Then we are back at Harrenhal. Daemon is playing Bob the Builder in the Riverlands. Like, literally, this is a joke. Men will literally try to repair Harrenhal, then make up with their wives. As he's splitting wood, he hears screaming women. Then we have the scene with Daemon and Alis, where she is basically chastising him for what he's doing in the Riverlands. She tells him, you would make an army of men who hate you, who serve you under duress. She said she hears whispers in the wind, cries of anguish, children being taken from their mothers, men coming home, finding their doors unlatched, their wives being carried away. Alis tells Daemon this is not a war, these are crimes against the innocent. She says, in the name of power, the weak and the women must endure. He basically says, I'm better than what's coming. Aegon is likely to die, and if Aemon One Eye rules, the realm will suffer. He will cut you down soon as wish you good day. She basically is like, I heard that about you too. But I'm going to leave you alone. I guess your tactics are approved by the queen. And Daemon is like, actually, she cannot succeed, Alis. Even if I willed it to be so, the people who support her will not be led by her. They look to a man for strength. He says, when I take King's Landing, Rhaenyra is welcome to join me there, take her place by my side, king and queen ruling together, and see, this is where the plot starts to lose me. Alis says, pity you never met your mother. Then Daemon gets a raven from Stonehenge. The Brackens have sworn their banners to Rhaenyra. Listen, this Harrenhal side quest is getting out of pocket. Like, it just is. I see what they are trying to do. Like, it's so obvious. It's not interesting, nor is it compelling. But the more time we spend with Daemon at Harrenhal, the less I like this whole Harrenhal horror story. Get them out of that raggedy castle now. Also, is anyone checking on Caraxes? Is he sleeping okay? Because dragons do experience visions and things with their riders. We see that in the books with the Drogon and Daenerys at the House of the Undying. They have Daemon and Harrenhal literally turning into the Mad King. He's literally going mad. One of the writers and executive producers, Sarah Hess, had teased that Daemon's time at Harrenhal would be akin to Overlook Hotel from The Shining. So y'all know I keep it real, I speak it true. I don't like this anymore. Like, at first it was cool, but now it feels clunky and messy and wildly out of place with the storyline. Like, I understand what they're trying to do, but it doesn't necessarily work. Like, it feels choppy. I feel like to an average viewer, like this is a lot to rationalize. Like we shouldn't have to try so hard to try to understand what the fuck is going on. It should be seamlessly understood. And who knows, maybe by the end of the season it will be. But right now it's all over the place. Let me explain basically what they are doing and what I feel they are setting up real quick. So everyone in this story that doesn't truly know Daemon would think that Daemon would usurp his queen. Listen, no, he would never. These Harrenhal ghosts, nightmares, weirwood visions, green dreams, weirwood pace, whatever the hell it is exploiting Daemon's darkest desires and playing with his mind. That darkness that he keeps sheathed inside of him, it's playing with him. That's why he has dreams of Rhaenyra, cutting off Rhaenyra's head, having relationship with his mother as she tells him he should be king. It's like Jack Torrance from The Shining. Like, you know, he went to the Overlook Hotel for solace, to be a caretaker and to work on his book. He struggled with alcoholism and domestic violence, and he's bitter because he's got writer's block, and he literally goes insane from the ghosts and visions and solitude and his own failures. So much so that he tries to kill his wife and son. Then they give Daemon the axe, which is a wink to it, but I just find it unnecessary. Like, we know he's not going to turn on Rhaenyra, not just because he loves her and she's his wife. She's the mother of his sons, she's the caretakers of his daughters. So they're going to have him play this villain role until he faces his demons and comes to his senses. I don't like it no more. I just don't like it anymore. My favorite scene, however, was Corlys and Baela. Baela says she wished she could have seen the Hall of Nine in its highest days. When she said, I wonder if any of them knew it was all for her, it hit different because he really loved Rhaenys, because many of the women in Westeros, like, they don't get to marry for love. But she got to choose her own husband, and he loved her. Corlys is grieving and not happy with Rhaenyra. Baela counsels him, and she sounds like Rhaenys so much. She died as she would have wished to die, with honor in dragonfire, as my mother wished to die, as I wish to meet my own end. Girl, I started crying again. I swear I need a therapist. Baela says, I will see Rhaenyra ascend the Iron Throne as Rhaenys wished, as Rhaenys herself should have. You can do as you like. She read, she clocked, she mollywopped. Corlys is so shook. He's like, granddaughter, I will make you my heir. Baela is like, oh no, I am blood and fire. Driftmark must pass to salt and sea. And I was about to cry again. I don't know why. I need counseling. Rhaenyra meets with Sir Alfred. She wants him to go to Harrenhal. He's like, are you removing me from the council? She says, well, while you have tried my patience. And when she said that, I was like, me too. I was getting tired of him. But she sends him to Daemon to reason with him, to find out his state of mind and his intentions. She says, ask him if he will raise this host for me or himself. Sir Alfred is appalled. He's like, he would not dare. Rhaenyra is like, child, please. When have you known him not to dare? Because he will dare, but will he actually do it? I don't think so. Rhaenyra wants to finish this conversation they had. That's what she said. She wants to go back to the conversation that they were having when he stormed out and went to Harrenhal. Daemon's dreaming again, or is he awake? I don't know. The River Lords come to Harrenhal, waking Daemon from his sleep, or is this all just a dream? I'm not sure. I was hoping Jace was going to pop up behind all these people like, king? So you're a king now? But he doesn't. It doesn't happen. Missed opportunity. The River Lords are pissed. The Blackwoods have been burning the septs of the Brackens, burning fields and livestock. Horrible things. Things that the Mountain and the Lannisters did in the Riverlands. Anyway, Laena appears, and she says a terrible war is being fought in these lands. Have you looked after our girls? They then accuse him of being a child murderer, and they say we should have expected this from you. They basically tell him, we shall not raise our banners for a tyrant. There is a shot of Daemon looking into the fire, and it's paralleled with Rhaenyra looking into the fire. They're calling for one another. They need one another. I feel like there's a reunion coming up. Then we have Alinda getting into King's Landing, and then we have Alfred riding for Harrenhal. So basically, Sir Alfred will go to Harrenhal. He will report back, and Rhaenyra, well, in the trailer for the season, it looks like Rhaenyra herself goes to Harrenhal. So the River Lords will likely submit to her and not Daemon, and Daemon will submit to her again, reaffirm for her again. So Alinda ends up meeting up with Diana. Diana is the girl who Aegon R-worded in season 1 and now works in a tavern getting assaulted. She has no reason to love the Greens. And Corlys has made up his mind. He's going to be Hand of the Queen. Aemon is looking at the throne. Helaena asks if it was worth the price. It's like rapid fire scenes toward the end. Like, boom, 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 boom. This person's here, this person's here, this person's here, this person's here. It was a lot. The Aemond and Helaena vision was interesting. One, he sensed her there, but two, like, she knows what happened. I wonder if he gets any visions like her. Then we see Aegon. Alicent is with him. He says her name after she leaves. He's alive. I like Aegon better than Aemond. I just do. I'm sorry. Then we get another good scene of Rhaenyra and Jace. Jace is shady as hell, though, because Rhaenyra is looking at pictures and he's like, I hope you don't mean to use her as an example. She's like, why? He's like, it was a long time ago. But basically, like, girl, babe, Visenya was a warrior. Rhaenyra, you've been living the soft life. Don't do it. But Jace and Rhaenyra are trying to understand each other. They both feel like they could be doing more. They want to be doing more, but at the same time, they are the succession. So Jace brings up the idea that Vermithor and Silverwing need riders, and he brings up people with Valyrian blood. Rhaenyra says the blood would be thin. A dragon will only accept a dragon lord to ride it. Jace says, so say the histories. The histories may not be true. They are Valyrian histories. The Valyrian histories tried to make the Valyrians look like gods. And the scene ends with Rhaenyra saying it's a mad thought. And it is. But I am hype because the dragon seeds are coming. We've already saw Adam. We've already saw Hugh the Hammer. We've already saw Off the Whites. Now all we're missing is my favorite dragon seed, one of my favorite characters in the entire series, Nettles. But what did you think? As always, thanks for watching. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.